Welcome back to Tackling Autism. There are so many great benefits of having a weighted stuffed animal. However, if you go online and try to purchase one, you can easily spend anywhere between 40 to 80 bucks depending on the size and the weight of the stuffed animal you are seeking. However, you can easily make your own for $12 or less. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make your very own stuffed weighted animal. But before I show you how to make one, I want to talk about some of the benefits that it can provide children who have ASD. Now, children who have ASD often have sensory processing issues. And what that means is that their senses are a lot stronger than a typical person's. Sounds are louder, smells are stronger, and lights are brighter. And so sometimes the brain has an inability to kind of process all of it at one time. So it causes children to be either extremely hypered, bouncing around, or can be aggressive or even whiny. So their reaction can vary depending on the child, but usually it's very uncomfortable for them. I mean, try to imagine what they are feeling. Usually it can be overwhelming for us if something is just too loud or too bright. So consider what they're going through on a constant basis of the senses that are surrounding them. Especially at a young age, it's really hard to process that, which makes things overstimulating. So some of the things that we can help children who are having a hard time processing what's going on around them is providing deep pressure. You can do squeezes on the arms, the legs, the shoulders, even do some like head pressures, feet. However, that can be a little bit time consuming to constantly have to stop and do those things, especially in the classroom. So weighted items such as weighted stuffed animals and weighted blankets, they provide that deep pressure that those children are actually seeking. So this stuffed animal that I'm going to show you how to make is very simple. Now, I have plenty of stuffed animals at home because I have tons of children. So you can just grab a stuffed animal that you have at home that you don't mind cutting open and making it kind of heavy. I personally like poly pellets because you can machine wash these. You can't dry it, but you can definitely wash it. And that's important, especially when you have toddlers. Like your stuffed animal is going to get dirty. But you can also put sand. I've heard of people doing rocks. You could do beans, but with those items you can't wash. The poly pellets cost me $10, and I ordered this from Amazon, but you could probably even get it cheaper at like a Michael's or a Joann's. So what you're going to do is, if you have a seam ripper, you can easily cut along the seam, but I'm not that fancy. I just have a pair of scissors, so I just made a small little cut right in his back. I removed the stuffing. And then you don't have to remove all of it, just enough so that you can actually get the funnel inside. Now, what I am going to use is a 2-pound bag. Usually after you put the stuffing, you'll get about 2.5, and I think that's a good weight, especially for children who are under the age of 7. If your child is over the age of 7, you can go a little bit higher, maybe up to 7 to 8 pounds, depending. But definitely check with your occupational therapist on an appropriate weight size for your child. So once you put the funnel, you kind of want to put it kind of towards the bottom or towards the legs. I don't take the stuffing out of the legs because I don't want it down here. I kind of want to keep it right at the his bottom. So then you just easily would pour it in until the bag is completely empty. You can remove the funnel and then re-add some of that stuffing to make it a bit heavier. Now once you get all the stuffing in there, you can kind of decide if you want to add more stuffing. Like I could definitely add some more, especially back up in the head. And then you can just easily re-sew it, and then you have a weighted stuffed animal. These are great. And I also have a weighted blanket that we absolutely love. I bought this 2 years ago for Jeremiah when he was an infant, because he had a hard time taking a nap and bedtime was really hard for him, but he kind of outgrew it and he didn't need it anymore. Well, recently, in the last couple months, he's been really struggling at bedtime, crying for hours, banging his head on the ground, biting, scratching, just real irritable. And it just was really hard for him to transition to bedtime. So we kind of rearranged the room and brought this weighted blanket back out, and it kind of actually helped. For the last couple of weeks, we've been getting, he's been pretty peaceful at night, so hopefully it lasts a little bit longer. But some of the clues that children give you that they're struggling with their surroundings, maybe they're overstimulated, they're not going to come up to us and say, hey, I need some deep pressure, but they're kind of give us some clues and some of the things that you can watch for. If a child is constantly banging against the wall, maybe purposely walking into a wall, banging their head on the wall or on the floor. Maybe they're doing a lot of jumping. Like Jeremiah, he jumps a lot on the trampoline. When they're jumping, they're getting that input and that deep pressure at the bottom of their feet, which is really relaxing for them. Some children will climb and jump off counters and dressers, and they're really seeking that deep pressure. So those are some of the things you can watch for. If a child is like superly hypered and they're just like, they're all over the place, they can't focus. Sometimes weighted items will kind of help, especially if they're in elementary school and they're required to sit at a desk. You can easily, as a teacher, put something weighted on their lap to kind of help calm them so they can sit still for a little bit and kind of focus more. What that weighted thing does, weighted items does, is calm the nervous system and kind of ground the child so that they can handle that sensory processing. Some other things that you can create for very, very cheap are weighted socks. And this is just a tube sock. It's actually got rice in it. That's another thing you can add, but you can easily add sand. And what I like about the rice, because it's kind of multi-purpose, if you've had a rough day, you could put this in the microwave for 30 seconds and then put it around your neck, and it's kind of like a heating pad. But again, this is great. This is about 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds right here. You could put this on a child's shoulders or just gently lay it on their lap if they're a little bit older, too old to be having a teddy bear, and and a blanket might be a little excessive. So these socks kind of come in great hand. So these are some options that you can definitely do. You can make a weighted sock. You can purchase a weighted blanket. I think even Target is starting to sell these, and you can make your own weighted stuffed animal. So there's a lot of options out there. I want to show you a clip of Jeremiah before we started using the weighted blanket at bedtime. He was, again, very upset, and you can see the difference from after when we started using the weighted blanket after about a week or so. You can see the difference that the weighted blanket had on him. So if you have any So if you have any questions about weighted items or any comments, please put some comments below. Don't forget to like and share. And until next time, take care.